Alright. Gotta get Miss Aspen here, camera ready. I gotta get the eye boogers out from the morning. Alright. So, we're out with Miss Aspen here, and we're gonna be working on just getting her attention, right? We've been working with her on name development. It's kind of been hit or miss. Been concentrating recently the most with leash pressure, right? Because having something physical, and now we're going to be introducing the e-collar. The way that I like to use these is to help signal a pup, right, to get their attention, as opposed to as a corrective device. What I mean by that is we can build a positive association with like the tone or the vibrate features to help get their attention, to help them to redirect to us, so that way we can actually give them a command or a condition to execute to. A good example of this would be when we have to work with a deaf pup, right? When the ability to use sound is off of the tables, but then having a vibrate feature and then conditioning them to look back or to look for us in general when they feel that vibration could be life-saving for that dog when it comes to terms of recall, and then on a day-to-day basis could make living with their parents much easier, right? So she is just munching on some grass right now, so we're going to try to get her attention first with her name, Aspen. Oh, good girl, come here. Oh, nope. Aspen, come here. Nope. Next, we'll add in some leash pressure. Aspen, come. You need to tighten up her harness. Good girl. And then she's gone, right? So she's only pulled away from it because we physically had to, right? She wouldn't listen to the verbal command. At least there was some recognition of her name there. But as you can tell, it was not as much of motivation even for her just to hang out with the grass and stuff. So what we're going to try to do today is see how sensitive she is to both the beep and the vibrate features, and see what we can use to our advantage to help get her attention, so that way we can make a little bit more progress a little bit faster. Sometimes it's just about making impact, right? It doesn't have to be choking your pup, but enough so that like they can't just ignore you, because it'd be really hard to teach them anything if you can't get their attention. And that's still unfortunately where we're at a lot of times with Aspen. When we can get her attention, she's great, but we need a little bit more of a consistent part here. So we'll try first. We'll go in order. We'll do her name, Aspen. Do leash pressure. Yes, good girl. Reward her for listening and coming back for that. Very good. So mostly her name is going to be off the tables whenever she is even the least bit distracted. Not sure why that is. Some pups just aren't used to a new name, especially sometimes rescues, right? They've been used to being called a certain thing their entire life, and then they either get renamed because they don't know, what the name is. I think her name is still her name the entire time, and then some pups are just less responsive. There's also some dogs too that are less sensitive in hearing. You'll get those situations too. I'll notice when I'm using like an ultrasonic device. Some pups, that kind of device really makes an impact, and some pups, it seems like you didn't even hit the button. So every dog is going to be different. So that's why it's going to be really important for us to figure out what works best with Aspen, and definitely sooner rather than later. The only reason why I don't jump to devices right away is because I still want to build a good base of name recognition as well as leash pressure before anything else. But definitely for this final week, we're going to need something else. So here is a good example, right? So she's pulling through the leash pressure to get to whatever her nose is interested in. Aspen, come. Oh, good girl. Come on. Good job. So we'll see here how sensitive she is to just the beep. We're gonna have the leash nice and loose. We're gonna tone, and we're gonna just watch her reaction. Oh, come here. So yeah, that was really good because it startled her, right? She was a little freaked out, but she definitely did not ignore it. All right, so we know that right now is a response for sure. All right. So now what we'll try to do is we'll try to build an association or connection with that sound. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to beep it, and I'm going to turn around, right? I'm going to kind of almost force her to refocus back onto me. This way. Yes, good girl. Good. Then when she gets back to me, I'm going to reward her, right? So she still has absolutely no idea what that sound is or what it means, but we're going to try to build a positive association with it. Okay. Good girl. Oh, all right, so both good and bad, right? Sometimes if a pup is too startled by a sound, I'll wear the collar on me, or I'll have it on my person as opposed to being around their neck, to help with the intensity of the sound, right? And build a positive association from there. So you can give that a try too. Or we can keep it with having as much impact as it is and just get her used to it only triggering when like there's leash pressure. So that way it adds to the leash pressure through that association. So go ahead and throw this away real quick. Good girl. And what we could do also is have it as a continuous thing until she pays attention or until she comes back all the way back. It's usually something that they reserve for like static or shocking. They have that momentary and continuous, but you could do the exact same thing with a tone and with a vibrate feature. So a good example is it starts to beep until she pays attention to me and then it stops. Or we vibrate until she starts coming back to us and then we stop it, right? So that kind of adds additional like pressure, and then it's that pressure is released once she does the right thing. So let's try this again. Nose into something, we'll use her name. Aspen. Nothing, we'll use leash pressure. Oh, good girl, come here. Aspen, come here. Yes, good. So you can see, even though we are trying to integrate a tool, I'm still not trying to use it all the time. We're trying to go up a chain of command here, because the goal still would be ultimately to have her just respond to her name. But now if she doesn't respond to her name, we have just more options. And sometimes those extra options down the road, especially when they become either harsher or more like repercussive actions, they can actually help to influence her decision making in having a faster response time to more positive interactions. Okay. So we'll try this again. Now that her nose is in the ground, we're just gonna do, oh, Aspen, nothing. Aspen, nothing. And Aspen, come here. Yes, good girl. Thank you. Good girl. Yeah, so we might need to take a step back because this is on the lowest level of the beep for the collar, and she's super sensitive to it. So I'll play around with it a little bit more. We might take it a step back, and I might have the collar and the sound on me, so that way she can, it's like kind of projecting from me, just like what her name would usually be, and see if that is good or if it becomes again too easy for her to ignore, right? And then we're back at square one. But either way, we're gonna try to really make this a good positive association for her, a good positive experience, because she isn't really doing any harm by not listening to us right now, but it would just make life a lot easier for both her and her owner if she was more consistent on the response. Right? Good girl. A little bit of the zoomies. That's another thing to note too. This is going to be a special note for Dad. When we try, when we try to do extra sessions in, and I don't think we're even on time on our session right now. Sometimes she'll just kind of give up and lay down and not want to move. So trying to do extra work with her has not been the easiest thing either. But that's understandable considering the heat. It's just right now, oh, I don't know what that is, come here. Especially right now, when it's like still not 90 degrees yet, and she's already kind of calling it quits on us. The work threshold for her is definitely not too high, but the play threshold is, so a lot of it is going to be trying to like get her to want to play with us. Hey, come on, Aspen. Come on. Hey, Aspen. Trying to get her motivated to move and interact with us through play. So a lot more like a puppy than anything else. Now she's, oh my God, now she's got the zoomies. So just wanted to do an update here for Dad, and it's good to see. We didn't even try the vibrate right now. We don't really even need it, but I'll keep practicing with her and the tone because it's making such an impact, and we're gonna try to make it a positive association for her and get her attention.